Okay, in our last lesson, we looked at using substitution as a method of solving our system of equations. In this lesson, we're going to use elimination. And the whole purpose of elimination is to eliminate one of our variables, because solving an equation with one variable is a lot easier than solving an equation with two variables. So how do we do that? We can start with these two equations. We're going to actually start by just adding the two equations together. And it's important to know that you are always adding the equations together. It will get kind of confusing because, as you see, we have a -4, -8. So you don't know if you add or subtract them. But with elimination, we are always adding the equations together. So if we add these two equations together, we have 4x plus -4x. That gives us 0x. And then -8y plus 5y, that's going to be -3y. And then 3 plus 7 is 10. Another thing that you might forget to do a lot of the times is add this side as well. It's easy to remember to add this side, but always make sure you're adding both sides. Okay, so now our x variable is gone. We have -3y is equal to 10. Now we're just solving for one variable. We're just solving for y. So we subtract or divide both sides by -3. And we get y is equal to -10/3. And we're just going to leave it as a fraction so it doesn't look so messy. So now we know what y is. But since we have two variables, we actually still have to solve for x. So we're going to take our y and we can plug it into either of these equations. We're going to plug it into the top one just for fun. And we get 4x minus 8 times -10/3 is equal to 3. That's going to be 4x -8 times -10/3 is going to be positive 80/3. And we're just going to leave that like that as well, is equal to 3. And we're going to subtract 80/3 from both sides. So 3 minus 80 divided by 3 gives us -23.67. Then if we divide by 4, we get x is equal to -5.92. Okay, so we have our x and we have our y. And I realize I switched between fractions and decimals, but that's just going to be easier for us. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so we have x and our y here. Now you notice that this worked because we have both +4 and -4, but a lot of the times the variables aren't going to line up like that. It's not going to be that easy to just cancel them out. So now we have what's called scalar elimination. And it's basically the same process as this one was, except we're going to be multiplying one of the equations by a scalar. So if we could somehow get these equations to be lined up like these ones, where we have two numbers that are the exact same, then it'll be easy. Then it's just this process all over again. And we actually can do that by taking this top equation and multiplying it by 3. We could, actually no, that's going to give us, if we do that, it's going to be 3 times 4 is 12x, plus 3 times 3 is 9y. And then we are also multiplying the 3 by the 11, so it's going to be equal to 33. We could also multiply this by 1.25 if we wanted to, so that we have the x coefficients are the same, but just because 3 is a cleaner number than 1.25, we're going to stick to 3. So now our second equation is going to stay the same. And again, we're going to add these two equations together. So 12x plus 5x is going to be 17x. 9y minus 9y is going to be 0y. And 33 plus 6 is going to be 39. So the y, we do not have a y variable anymore. We have 17x is equal to 39. Divide both sides by 17. And that is our x value. Now, just like we did over here, we also had to solve for the second variable. We know x. Now we're going to plug that into this top equation again, and we're going to solve for y. So we're going to have 4 times 39/17 plus 3y is equal to 11. 4 times 39 over 17 is going to be 156 over 17 plus 3y. And then if we subtract 156 over 17 from both sides, we get 3y is equal to 31 over 17. And then if we divide by 3, we get y is equal to 31 over 51. You can kind of see that on the bottom there. Okay, so now we have our y and we have our x. Just like we did over here. We found both of our variables. Now, if we wanted to, we could take both of these variables, plug them back into our equation. So we took the negative 5.92, put it here, negative 10 over 3, put it here. That will give us 3. Same thing with this equation. And that will also work with these two variables. So if you're not comfortable with your math or you're not comfortable with whatever went on here, you can always check yourself and then you'll know for sure if you're right or wrong. All right, and that is elimination to solve a system of equations.